Hello, my name is Michael Cammack, and I'm going to be going over what I worked on in our Milestone 2 sprint. Okay, so the first user story we're going to be going over is the spear. And the user story for that states, as the player, I want to use the spear so that I can do sweeping attacks and attack from a distance. So if I show that in action, we have our spear equipped. We can do an overhead, a sweep, and then a jab. So for the completion criteria for that, I'm going to go a little bit out of order here, but the first one that I'm going to go over is the spear has a combo attack with animation. And if we go back into the game, we have 1, 2, and 3. Overhead, swipe, jab. For the next completion criteria, we have the spear attack consumes stamina. So going back into the game, if we look at the top left, our stamina is the green bar. If we attack 1, 2, and 3, it takes stamina with each hit. The next completion criteria is the spear has a heavy attack. So if we go back into the game, again, we have our 1, 2, 3 combo. But if we charge up our heavy attack, it goes for an immediate jab, which deals more damage. Okay, and the last completion criteria we're going to go over is the spear does damage on impact. So heading back into the game, we'll go ahead and show this off in front of the boss. Boss takes damage. Okay, for our next user story, it's going to state, as the wall, I want to detect when the player hits me so that the weapon deflects and stuns them. And I'll go ahead and show that off here in the game. We have a nice wall here. When we go to hit it, it deflects with the noise. And it does that for the spear as well. Okay, so the first completion criteria we have here is a player attack plays an animation that bounces off the object it comes into contact with. So to test that out here, we have the wall. Once we hit, you can see that the animation plays for when it comes into contact with it. And it's the same for the sword. If we try to hit, it's going to play that animation that knocks it back. The second completion criteria is the player gets stunned for a second after hitting the object, and for this one, the animation itself stops the player from attacking for about a good second. So if we were trying to attack an enemy, then you wouldn't be able to. And then the last one is that there's a sound cue on impact, and as you've no doubt heard for all the times that I've been hitting these walls, there's the sound cue. Okay, the last user story we're going to be going over is for the boss, and the user story for that states, as the boss, I want to have a moveset to deal more damage to the player and give variety to the fight. So if I were to go ahead and show that off here in the battle, so I have a conditional that'll play the animation, so the boss is now in his defensive position. Once you go to attack him, he plays his animation. Okay, so the completion criteria. The first one we have, boss does an animation that indicates each different attack. So if we head back into the boss room, he has his original sword smash, and then he has his 3-hit combo. Next completion criteria, the boss has a 3-hit combo, so go ahead and show that off again. 1, 2, and then 3. The next completion criteria is the last hit does more damage, so I'll go ahead and show that off here as well. So we go to attack. First one does 20, second one does 20, next one does 30. So from 100 it went to 80, then it went to 60, and then from 60 it went to 30. And the last completion criteria, I actually worked this one in with the 3-hit combo, but we'll go ahead and see it here again. 1, 2, and then he's gonna lunge at us from across the room. Boom. Alright, those are the tasks that I worked on for Milestone 2, and now I'm gonna pass it over to my next teammate.